Welcome to Shweta's Talkies Season 1. Let's chat and have some fun. People, their lives, their struggles and their joys. Faces, their truths and their beauty. Things of value, not price. I'm old school and I'm blunt. I like to explore things. I like to explore people and their emotions, places and their truths. Join me for Shweta's Talkies. I'm very excited today to have Mr. Brajesh Kumar Singh today with me. A super cop. His career, I literally have to have it on a paper. And I felt very small when I read it. I'm going to read it out to you all. He started his career as an assistant commissioner of police in 1986. And he finally retired as Joint Commissioner IGP in Crime Branch, New Delhi. That is almost 34 years of being a super cop and seeing things that I don't think you and me and normal people can even begin to understand. I'm going to turn on to him. You have worked in the security with Dr. Abdul Kalam Azad. You've worked with luminaries and you've grown in your career. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself so that we kind of get to know?
Thank you so much, Shweta, and thank you for inviting me for such a lovely talk and with this young team. My journey starts with my final education at Jawaharlal University, where I was pursuing my career in Hindi literature. And I was student union leader there as well. Little later, I decided to appear for civil services once I got disillusioned with the student politics. Then I decided to appear before. And there were many people in JNU who got disillusioned with JNU student politics. And there are a lot of people qualified civil services from JNU. So yeah, then I started my journey as assistant commissioner of police, and it was an interesting phase in polity of India. The Mandal Commission had been implemented. A lot of riots were going on in Delhi. Then Ram Mandir agitation started, Rath Yatra started. So my career started with heavy load of law and order arrangements. Because of these two agitations, the entire Delhi was burning. Delhi and NCR area was burning at that time. So it was a tough start, and that's what made me succeed in my career, because I started at a tougher note.
Oh, yes. And your tough note, your awards, Police Medal for Distinguished Services, for Meritorious Services, National Award from Lalit Kala Academy, and that's that art bit I want to get into. A nominee in General Council of Lalit Kala Academy, which also is your art bit. You went from police to now grooming yourself as and enjoying your tenure as a sculptor, as an artist. I want to get into that. Why did you want to be a cop? Or was it like a pin drop? Or there's some people who always want to be a cop, right? Or you said, you know what, I just want to get into it and bash up the bad guys.
Well, it was not a clear choice. As I told you, I was into student politics. I was, leading an agitation in JNU. We went to jail also. And when we came out and university got sine die closed, then we were on the streets. That time we decided that, look, now we won't get job of lecturer or professor here, because now we are earmarked.
आप जेल जा चुके थे तब?
हाँ.
Okay.
So,
I see.
So then, otherwise I was topper there. So I was sure that I will get a post of lecturership here. And but after and during the agitation, authority from JNU threatened us also. Look, your career is spoiled and you won't get any job anywhere. We will ensure. Then what is left? Competition, because you compete with your ability, and that is a free and fair game. That's how I said. I never thought I will become a civil servant.
I mean, you literally found your calling in the jail cell. How fascinating is that? Not everybody find their calling in a jail cell. You've been in various fairly sensitive areas. You've been in sensitive posts. You've been there. You've done that. We would like to know. We sit in cities. We think, okay, the traffic police is not doing well, or the crime is a little bit out of order. Choriyan ho rahi hai, dakati ho rahi hai, women ye way. Exactly how tough is it to manage a city, for example, in your case, or a village in India, where the numbers of people are so much more than a US. I lived in US, and literally I think the cops over there were responsible for only the county and a few amount of, like not a very dense population number over there, as opposed to India. What happens really on the ground?
Well, I mean, if you go behind the philosophy of policing, it was brought into existence just because state wanted to, course, like, put some kind of law on the street or in the society as such. So it's a kind of enforcement which state does through us. So basically, we are doing the strong arm tactics of state as such, because state can't run unless people have obedience for the orders of state. So finally, state depends on us to make it visible. Like, state is there,
Acha,
administration is there.
for sure.
So who is supposed to kind of display this on the street or in the public in general? So police is meant. So our job is not a pleasant one. Be it a police of USA, or you have seen that how much bad name they got, when Black Lives Matters,
yes,
happened.
yes.
Nobody can justify that, but that's what police is. I mean, sometimes it crosses the line, and that's how they get bad name. But before it crosses line, all the time police is doing is kind of thing which is not liked by people. Of course, there will be an inspirational story coming out of policing, which makes people believe in the system, but they are not happy with us. It's just only that we caught some deadly criminal or big terrorist. We avoided some bomb blast. We averted some kind of law and order problem. We improved on general feeling of law-abidingness in the society. So these stories make them feel happy. It's not that they are happy with police.
Okay, point. When I did go abroad and I lived a bit of my life over there, I noticed they were very fortified over there. The cops, they have preventive uniforms all the time. They were far more advanced of us. I'm talking about when I was growing up. वो बेचारा एक दरोगा होता है, यहाँ पे एक लाठी होती है. They are not armed typically everywhere I see them. I wonder what happens. I mean, are they, if they see somebody getting unruly, are they supposed to go and, talk to them, negotiate first, or what does the protocol look like? Or they're supposed to jump in? As I see in cops, they're in overseas, they're very clear. They say, okay, you have the right to remain silent. You can go to court. And they are armed all the time. I'm not.
You're talking about people policing abroad.
Overseas,
Oh,
yeah. But I've seen in India a lot of the force is not armed. Only a section of it is armed. Is there a difference?
Yeah, there is
What
big
that
difference.
like
The difference is in Western part of globe, police is empowered to use force as much as possible while preventing kind of or enforcing a law. So that's why you see the images of UK police or US police suddenly handcuffing people and pinning them down on the street and using all the blows and all those things. So they are authorized to do that. Here we are not supposed to. It will be examined by the court whether we have used excess force in every case. So that's why you will not see such scene on the Indian street that two cop is pouncing on a single woman or man. There, though, they can arrest, manhandle a woman also while arresting, making
if she's
exactly. But here we don't touch even. I mean, we will let her go.
Is there a brief given, or is that left to?
Yeah, that's how the criminal justice system work here, because court will not take it, lightly. So here, enforcement is not that much direct and rude. We are not supposed to behave in the same way as New York police or NYPD or other.
Interesting. I'd actually say it's a lot more evolved a way of handling any issue which is negative or maybe violent or sensitive, where you are actually telling them, do not use force immediately. Then you're relying on other tactics, softer powers. I don't know what that might be.
Yes, I mean, we then go back to our police station and try to find out, try to identify those people who we didn't arrest on the spot, and then find out, how to catch hold of them. but we avoid such kind of ugly
Situations. You have been around fairly scary scenarios. Do share with the audience something which comes to your mind, which is close to your heart, which you still remember.
Well, there are so many.
You can take your time.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you are in crime branch, say, all the time you are handling cases related to terrorism or hardened criminal. So, when I was in crime branch, we had to eliminate a few criminals also, like, we had encounters.
Have you ever done one yourself?
Not
Or
exactly,
is it like
because
a
I
team?
was senior
Yes.
officer, but my team has done. When we were handling Punjab terrorism during 1992-94, that time also we had a very tough, handling of situation, and we have been doing such things very often. Like, it's not that once in a blue moon this happens. Especially in Delhi, with a gap of every 5-6 years, you have some kind of trend, some kind of terrorism. Like there was Jammu Kashmir terrorists were doing some kind of crime here. Before that, there were Punjab terrorists. Then there were Islamic terrorists. So we are always engaged with high-profile trends of terror, other than rape, murder, extortion, crime against women, and all those things, child trafficking. All these things are routine work for us. We are always full with these kind of new upcoming terror trends, and we have always such kind of engagements.
Wow, I never really look at it like that. You've been a part of the presidential security. Can you tell us what takes you there?
Actually, I didn't know I am being picked up for that post. It was the team, selection team of Commissioner of Police who decided to post me there. But, they go into details of my career, my, individual life or my conduct and everything. So they will put some IB guy behind me, and they will
To
go
check.
to, they went up to my village to see whether he has earned some money or some kind of, he has big bungalow there or some,
I think you qualified because you were broke, I think, something
Yeah,
like
yeah, you can very well say that मेरा घर
Good.
इतना गरीब सा घर था गांव में कि उनको दया आ गई होगी.
अच्छा कि ये अच्छा
हाँ,
ही
उसमें
होएगा.
कुछ ज्यादा ही लिख दिया होगा
अच्छा ये
कि.
अच्छा ही होगा.
So my brother called from my village. He said, "Have you done something wrong?" मैंने कहा, "No, I have not." Well, IB guys had come to check on you. So then later I came to know this is a part of exercise that is carried out, and that post is nothing. I mean, not glamorous or something like that, but that's how it is.
Does it require a certain amount? Once you get inducted, do you have to go through some additional training?
Oh yes, that's very tough. My batchmates were all MA and MPhil guys. So when the constable on the ground started us make run here and there, do all kind of exercise, we were very feeling belittled kind of thing. Look, we were supposed to be professor and look
And
this.
now you're making me run.
So it was quite a resistance from our side. But then police had its upper hand.
How gruesome was it? Mental.
And I will tell you that we were a little harassed by those physical exercises, and this was too much, like 4 hours of continuous exercises, running, then climbing or doing some stretch exercises and all those things. So we were very unhappy. So suddenly the principal of that police training college came on a horse. He was a Sardar.
And he was on a horse.
I was like a Senapati of a Raja.
Straight out of movies.
Well, guys, any problem? So हमारा एक बैचमेट था, वो बोला सर हमारा जो ऑफिसर्स मेस है उसके बाजू में ट्रेन लाइन है और उससे ट्रेन जाती है तो मेरी नींद खुल जाती है.
That was a complaint.
हाँ, that was a complaint. We were so full with kind of complaints that one of us said like that. The trainer's name was Sucha Singh. So he said, "Suche, मैं तुम्हें suspend कर दूंगा. इसकी नींद कैसे खुल जाती है?" And we had it. उसके बाद से हमारा ट्रेनिंग डबल हो गया. So this was the interesting part, that if a senior asks you something, don't complain. Whatever problem I have, I will never speak, because that incident scared us कि पुलिस में सीनियर को नहीं बताना कि प्रॉब्लम है. So,
I think that's a good way of, because how else do you manage such a big country? And there is a phrase where adversity builds character. I think if you're dealing with such a myriad of crimes, issues. Our society is not homogeneous. I mean, we are all different kinds of people here. I think that kind of training is almost essential.
See, I will tell you. That's why I said we are the enforcement hands of state. So I cannot say to state, look, I am in problem. You help me. State will say, who will help you? Yourself can help, because you are the last person we depend on. Like if there is a law and order issue or communal riots, I cannot say Home Minister, sir, मैं क्या करूं? Because Home Minister will say, कहेगा कि भाई तुम ही को करना है जो करना है, because I have none other than anybody else to handle it except you. So हमारा वो temperament बन जाता है कि हम किसी को कंप्लेन ही नहीं करते वो सीनियर को कभी कि मेरे को ये चाहिए. We are in the field when situations are situation is grave, like major law and order, major demonstration, major any communal flare up, or any wherever there is big public gathering, we are there. I mean, I cannot depend on just sub-inspector and inspector. So, handling of law and order situation or communal riots, all seniors are on the ground.
For example, overseas, like at that point, I was on a motorbike. I was at that point with my partner, Fortley, and he had oversped the speed limit on the bike. And I think there's a rule that after 120 miles an hour, the police cars over there will not chase you, because the speed becomes fatal.
Achha.
And I'm sure you also have a lot of those thumb rules of action or reaction when arms are concerned.
Yeah, so every time we do some action while apprehending someone or chasing someone, we have to be convinced that I am not endangering or putting that person's life in danger just because I have to arrest him or I have to apprehend him. So that's where court always examine your act, whether you used excess force to implement the rule or law. So that's why in India we are on cautious side. Like we never go that far.
I see.
हाँ, हम दूसरे तरीके से ढूंढ लेते हैं उसको. मेरे नंबर मिल गया उसका. Like आप चेज कर रहे हो ना, आपने नंबर प्लेट ले लिया उसका. RTO से मैं नंबर प्लेट से निकलवा के फिर उसके घर से उठा के ले आऊँगा उसको.
अच्छा.
Why should I chase? Sometimes I wonder कि न्यूयॉर्क पुलिस क्यों चेज करती है उनको. उनका नंबर प्लेट लो, RTO से निकालो, उसका ऑनर को पकड़ के थाने में बैठाओ, अपने आप सब आ जाएगा. हम यहाँ ये करते हैं. हम चेज नहीं करते कभी. आपने कभी भी दिल्ली में चेजिंग नहीं देखी होगी पुलिस?
नहीं, कभी नहीं देखी.
क्यों नहीं करते?
एक्चुअली काफी नहीं, मैंने कभी चेजिंग
क्यों नहीं करते? बिकॉज वी हैव अदर मीन्स टू.
मूवीज में देखी है सर.
हाँ, मूवीज में तो वो दे आर इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय न्यूयॉर्क पुलिस. वी नेवर डू दैट.
ओह, इंटरेस्टिंग. ऑफ कोर्स हम लोगों के यहाँ चेज नहीं होती.
हम तो नंबर पहले तो कैमरा नहीं होते थे, तो मेरे पुलिस वाले के पास सबके पास इतना छोटा सा डायरी होता है और एक पेन होता है. फटाक से नंबर नोट किया, जा भाई ठीक है, अभी बुलाता हूँ तेरे को. तो हमारे यहाँ इसलिए वर्कआउट ज़्यादा है एंड फेटेलिटी कम है. हमारे यहाँ पुलिस सेक्शन की फेटेलिटी बहुत कम है. कॉमन सिटीजन को, लॉ वायलेटर्स को हम कभी चेज नहीं करते, हम उसका नंबर नोट करते हैं.
ब्रजेश, अब VIP सिक्योरिटी में भी रह चुके हैं. टेल अस अ लिटिल बिट अबाउट सुपर VIP सिक्योरिटी, इट्स इश्यूज. व्हाट आर वी लुकिंग एट? आर वी लुकिंग एट अ गेम ऑफ नर्व्स? आर वी लुकिंग एट somebody who's very fit as well as very, very tactical on the spot?
So VIP security basically is it's a team effort. A lot of agencies are involved. We have a lot of inputs from IB, RAW, various sources, personal sources, regarding threat perception against the VIP. So we process that, and accordingly we innovate our arrangements. Like if I am going to say Chhattisgarh area with VIP, I will have different setup of arrangements. And if I go to a relatively peaceful place, it will be more relaxed kind of this thing. But there are standard rules which we follow. A lot of layers we have, there is a outer perimeter security, then there is a closer proximity security, then there is a D made out, then there is a closest proximate security which I used to handle because I was like shadow of president. I am covering him with my body. I have a gun, everything. So I am the last man to die before it hits president. But there are so many people around in that arrangement, all in civil clothes with all sophisticated guns, so that if it is a close encounter, we can handle. Like we can kill 3, 4, 5 people in close proximity. But if somebody is carrying a gun, long range gun or something, that's a threat which still remains. Then what we do, all high rise building we cover, all windows we cover. The police in the locality does that job. हमको 4 घंटे धूप में क्यों दौड़ाते थे? It was not because कि I was supposed to run like Milkha Singh. It was just because कि तुमको धूप में 4 घंटे स्वेटिंग में खड़े रहना है, तुमको हिलना नहीं है. You don't lose your common sense, you don't lose your wisdom and all those things. So that was kind of, इससे resilience बढ़ाते हैं हमारा.
So when they are handpicking like a few people who are going to be the president's most trusted or any VIP's most trusted, there must be like a rule book, right? For normal people who we don't understand.
Yeah, so there is a small team which surrounds the VIP all the time. There are 5, 6 people. You must have seen in with PM, no?
Yes, yes.
The black goggle glass and dark safari and all those things.
Right.
So they are the guy who keeps a track of things around PM and tries to cover him maximum. Like अगर एक कदम आगे बढ़ा है तो वो देखेगा गैप कहाँ से बन रहा है. So he will take the position there so that if some bullet is coming there, तो at least body से हम cover कर रहे हैं उसको.
मतलब आपकी body को bullet लेना है.
हाँ, bullet लेना है. So we have to just all those 4, 5 guys try to keep that in optimum situation.
I'm just trying to think. Every time you get ready for work, you're getting ready to maybe die the next morning. It's quite possible.
No, it's not. It's not that, because we always assess threat perception. We know what real threat are. We are almost sure that this is not real threat or this is the real threat.
I see.
So if he is in President House, he is safe enough. If he is in aircraft, safe in the sense till the aircraft. If you are on foreign soil, you know that security system about there. You have a close meetings. You know that everything is taken care. So generally, it happens when we go to remote areas, like some Naxal area or some area where you cannot cover each and every point. So there the threat is palpable, but that is more with PM. All the policy decisions he takes, all the stakes are with him. So he, and if terrorists succeed in killing PM, it's a greater demoralization for nation. Because PM, like in his Senapati ko maar dena, तो सेनापति सेना तो पूरी डिमोरलाइज हो. So it's like, so president has less threat perception. Kalam sir had little bit because he was guy who was instrumental in explosion of nuclear bomb. So he was a little identified man. This man made India nuclear or something like that. Generally, there was no day-to-day threat as such.
Please do tell us about one of the incidents, like what do you call it, terrorist encounter that you may have had personally.
I will not narrate you in detail because that terrorist which we had apprehended after encounter is number one in international this thing. But I will tell you the story. Our team was pursuing on information that where they could be, like that guy. And so it was a combined operation by Delhi police and UP police. I was heading Delhi police. So we got information that in Ghaziabad locality, some locality where he is hiding. So we went.
हमारे वाले Ghaziabad में.
हाँ, Ghaziabad में.
Okay.
So we went there and he had kidnapped 3 foreigners. So we had to rescue that foreigners because the nation to which they belong was putting a lot of pressure on us that he should be rescued alive. He should not.
3 गोरों को ले गया था.
हाँ, 3 गोरों को ले गया था. और तो हमने we apprehended him. Luckily he didn't have gun, but he was not saying anything, and he was saying that I am so and so, and what he was narrating about himself, that he was a scholar, he was an intellectual. That was true. And at that time we thought that गलत आदमी को पकड़ लिया. So But our informer said, सर यही बताएगा वो 3 आदमी कहाँ है, हमने इसको पहले यहीं रखा था 3 आदमी और यहाँ से हटाया है कहीं. तो वी थॉट कि यार ऐसे तो बताएगा नहीं. सो देन SSP गाजियाबाद सेड सर लेट्स डू समथिंग नास्टी. तो हमने जो है उसको वी शॉट एट.
Oh, very good. Oh,
राइट
as simple as that.
टू लाइक डिसेबल हिम लाइक लेग में.
Oh, you shot at his leg.
Leg.
I thought आपने एक बार
नहीं.
चलो
Because-
पहले टांग गई.
Because information would not have come then. So he said, now you have shot me, you take me to hospital. You are violating human right rules.
Issues. हाँ, बड़ा बहुत.
And people have seen you doing this and we will sue you in the court and also international court and all those things. So हमने कहा यार ये भी काम नहीं कर रहा है. तो the other guy from UP police said, सर इसको ऐसा करते हैं, हॉस्पिटल ले चलते हैं, बिकॉज पब्लिक ने देख लिया है. हॉस्पिटल सीधा न ले जाके इसको लंबे रास्ते से ले चलते हैं.
और उधर ही
नहीं हो, हाँ, तो लंबे रास्ते से ले चले तो ही केप्ट ऑन ब्लीडिंग. देन ही रियलाइज दैट कि मैं तो मर जाऊंगा. व्हेन ही रियलाइज कि मेरा ब्लीडिंग बहुत हो गया है तो देन बोलता है कि मैं प्लीज हॉस्पिटल ले चलो, मैं सब बता देता हूँ. देन ही टोल्ड मी.
कुछ करना नहीं पड़ा मतलब.
हाँ.
That was pretty tactical.
Pretty
एक टांग दे
tactical.
दो, बाकी
हाँ,
information.
हाँ.
So but you really didn't have to go all the way to get the answer out of him.
Yeah.
ऐसा तो बड़ा स्मार्ट था जो भी था आपके टीम
Had he
में.
been not done that, he would not have come out
तो
with
उसको
him.
आपने pat on the back दिया जिसका bright idea था ये कि टांग दे
Of course. He was equivalent officer, so he said,
Oh, fabulous.
yeah. It's long back, 20 years.
What would you tell the upcoming generation to kind of process जब वो decide करते हैं IAS join करो, IPS join करो, IRS join क्या करूँ? IPS में ऐसी क्या चीज़ है जो obviously besides normally जो पुलिस बनने ही चाहते हैं, वो पुलिस में जाना चाहते हैं. After having been in the industry for 34 years now.
It's not a pleasant job.
It's not pleasant, guys. It is tough.
Whatever image he has about SP of IPS on the screen, cinema screen, if you have a kind of commitment towards society, this is the job you join because you really handle crisis one after another where people need you. People need you for kind of crisis. So if you love handling crisis, this is the job.
मतलब सर कह रहे हैं कि इतना ग्लैमरस नहीं जितना आप सोच रहे हैं मूवीज़ पे होता है. इसमें एक्चुअली रियल टाइम इश्यूज होते हैं एंड यू हैव टू हैव a real need to help the society and you have to be devoid of all the bells and whistles that come along being a police officer, especially in a place like India where things are not so simple. And what sir is saying that you have to have a true sense of service and it is an unpleasant job. He has said it so many times. It is an unpleasant job. It becomes uncomfortable. It can be a bit of a drain on your mental and physical well-being.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
thinking you're posted everywhere.
I mean, lot of
away from your families.
yeah, a lot of research says that around 40% policemen are suffering from serious ailment or mental issues because of tough life and
Tough
because
life.
of
I hear a lot about that. People who go to war, a lot of those soldiers go through that trauma, traumatic disorders, post-traumatic
Yeah.
disorders होते हैं.
गांव
तो वो stress ही रह
में
जाता
गांव
है.
में ये कहावत भी है कि पुलिस वाले ज़्यादा दिन पेंशन नहीं खा पाते हैं.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, this is the I mean there is truth in it because they die very early. I mean
Oh,
after
thanks.
retirement they don't survive much because they are really exhausted and
Really
drained out.
tired and
They are
exhausted.
tired.
Amazing. I think today I got to know a little bit on the flip side. Funnily, after dealing with all of that stress, he's now an artist. You're a sculptor.
Yes, देखो I was an artist before I joined police because I was fascinated to this form from childhood. So I used to score 100 out of 100 in fine arts during my
So
school
you're a
days.
fine art student.
Yeah.
Ah,
No,
interesting.
there was a paper in our school, fine art paper. So I used to score a lot. And मेरा दोस्त was 0 in fine arts and he was good in mathematics. So we used to help each other
अच्छा.
in exams.
अब वो आर्टिस्ट बन गया कि
वो नहीं बना.
वो भी नहीं बना.
वो नहीं बना.
आप बन गए.
मैं बन गया
Very good.
because I was actually doing since childhood. So art was always with me, and I never leave it because of my police job or by business. I kept on doing. I got national award when I was a police officer only.
Oh, wow.
So from Lalit Kala Academy, I was more of an artist than a police officer because that was my childhood, passion.
Passion.
I never thought in my childhood that I will become a police officer. But I always thought that I wanted to be an artist. But of course, I couldn't be a professional
Pursue it
artist.
fully, yes.
But I'm more, I have a longer span of art activity than I have a span of police job. So I can consider myself.
I mean, if Sir could be a super cop and an artist together, you can be a scientist and a chef together. So please don't stop yourself. Be anything you want to be. Tell me a little bit about your art. What materials do you use?
What I will tell you, when I joined police, I found that I don't have much time to do all these things. So then I became more smarter. Whatever material I could, try because of
It was
positive.
quick responding to your art.
So
Interesting.
I started with oil painting, then shifted to
Oh, I
acrylic.
mean, third time. Like
Acrylic, and then I didn't have that much time. So what I started doing, I started picking up teak woods from jungle and bring it home and
Wherever
then
you
work.
encountered the terrorist, you picked up the wood.
हाँ,
ये
टेररिस्ट
अच्छा
नहीं मिला
sourcing,
तो
ये
लकड़ी
sourcing
उठा
अच्छी
के ले
है।
आए, ठीक है. So like that. So right now I have a studio. So I have artists there. I have hired few artists and carvers. So I do now marble work. So I design the marble.
I would love to cover that one day. We'll come to your studio, I think. That
Yes,
would be
yes,
great.
most welcome.
How a cop, a super cop, became a super artist. And with that, we wind up today's session. Sir, it was lovely. Thank you for coming to our studios. And we hope to see you now in your artist mantra. Thank you, guys. See you again.